Welcome to These Can't Be My Kids.
Literally.
Because I don't know how they are mine. So,
Or mine.
I am Leila.
I am Karen. And welcome to These Can't Be Our Kids podcast. Tonight is just an introduction to get you all ready to join our world, to come and join the journey of these really can't be my kids. Like, really.
Really. And I'm sure you have some stories too, because if you got adult children like we got, then you know for a fact how you wonder every day, where did they come from? And so, between the two of us, we have nine. Look, 9. And their ages range from 36
down to 21.
And
oh
boy,
my gosh.
I know.
We're old.
I'm not. You might be.
But no, this is really about taking the time out to just share the stories that we go through as mothers and dealing with our adult children. Because sometimes it's really crazy when some of the things that they do, some of the things that they say, and you just like wonder, like, what? How?
And why?
Yes.
What? How? Why?
Yes.
That's all it is. Not even 5 minutes ago, we were talking to my son, and she was like, why is your mother doing your onboarding training for you? Yeah. I guess that's partly my fault, though, because I did it, right? I don't know.
But I think most of it is, I think it's both. Most of it is a little bit of our fault, too, because we do, and we do, and we do, and we do. But I guess that's what makes it, funny, because what's the saying? We keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
That's called insanity. Funny, and it's sometimes sad. And I want to cry, laugh, scream, holler, all of it, all the time.
Because that's why I drink.
Because guess what? I'll drink to that.
No, but seriously, guys, thank you for tuning in. This will be a platform where we will be sharing our stories, our trials, our tribulations, just everything about being a parent and raising adult children. And in those times when we should not be raising our adult children, this will be those times where we can share and just be a community with one another. So please make sure that you tune in. You share, you like, and most importantly, you comment, because we want to know, like, we not crazy and we not the only ones, right? It can't just be us.
I need to know that there's other people in the world that deal with the craziness that I deal with.
Yes.
Whether it's self-inflicted or not, because on some fronts, as we said, it definitely is. However, once they are your kids, they're always your kids. No matter if they're 36 or 21 or 24, 27, they always yours. And so we get stuck with them for life.
But do we got to get stuck with their problems for life?
It feel like it.
I know.
I don't want it to be.
Isn't it amazing that when you become a parent, you also become a doctor, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a lawyer?
Girl, a lawyer for sure.
Definitely a lawyer for sure.
Then you the babysitter.
Oh, yes.
Wait, what else?
Yes.
They don't call you babysitters, though.
They don't call you anything. They just say, here's the kid. That's what they do.
It's like,
you become the financial manager.
And the banker.
Not even the banker.
No.
You are the
you
ATM.
Are the bank.
That's what you are.
It's like all those plus stuff.
Yes.
It's like you can't get away from any of it.
Yes. So this will be a place where we just share our stories and just really have some relatable conversations. And we are inviting you to join us. We will be filming or being out here every Tuesday. We will be on. So make sure that you join in with us on Tuesdays. Yes.
We want to hear your stories. If you want to share your stories live, then we will have that opportunity as well. Or at least virtually, if you can't be where we are.
and we will actually have a moment called "It's the
It's
Audacity" for me.
the audacity. Because sometimes the things that they say, things that they do, man, oh man, outside of them just not being my kids, the audacity. That's when you want to get the switch off the tree. Back in the day, you know.
Speaking of back in the day, right? Just thinking about this, about these can't be my kids. So I was sitting a couple of weeks ago talking to my youngest daughter and her friends, and they were having a depressed session, right? So they
were just being depressed on purpose.
Well, they claimed that their life was depressing.
Okay.
So they're 22 to 24, I think, and they were like dealing with breakups and financial things. And not to say that these things don't cause depression, right? But I'm sitting there and I'm listening to them, right? And I'm like, y'all couldn't have survived my day, right?
Because I don't know what is hard for them today.
But you know what the response was that they told me? They said that we had it easier than them. They said because our rent was only $300. They said...
Did they forget that minimum wage was a lot less?
But they was really trying to argue me down that life was easier for us back then than it is for them now. And that's why they are depressed at such a young age. I said, do you know what I was doing at 23 besides having you?
Listen,
people?
This is one of those, it's the audacity. The audacity to think that back in 1970, 1980, that life was easier than it is today in 2025.
And then I was trying to explain to them how, like now, you don't have to go out here and really look for a job. All you got to do is turn on your camera.
Correct.
All you got to do is turn on your TikTok and become viral off of one thing. And you got millions of dollars coming in. We didn't have that opportunity.
I had to go to work.
No.
Have y'all ever heard of Roy Rogers? I hope not, because that's where I had to work first.
Not Roy Rogers.
Listen, them ugly brown pants. Could not stand it, okay? Yeah. They don't know nothing.
Or taking the bus.
Oh.
Or
public transportation.
Listen.
They get Uber. They don't even understand. They don't even know how to hail a real taxi.
Do they even know what a taxi is?
Probably not.
What a taxi is. No. When your niece was coming here from Atlanta, she decided, I said, she was looking for a ride. She was like, oh, I could take an Uber. The Uber was $78. So she was like, oh, I'm not going to take an Uber. Mm-hmm. So then she was like, well, I could get a ride. But all her friends were at work or whatever. So I was like, you do know that the train goes right into the airport, right?
Train?
And she was like, you want me to get on the train?
Mm-mm.
I said, yes. It's $2.50.
Right.
It takes you straight to the airport.
Right where you need to be.
Honey, that girl she got on the train, she get to the airport, and she called me, and she was like, never again. I said, wow, what was wrong with the train?
What happened? She had to hold her own bag.
She was like, there was somebody in front of her singing. Some guy came up and asked her a question. She was just like, it just wasn't for me. I said, well, did you make it to the airport? She was like, yeah. I said, was it not convenient? Mm-hmm. It was $2.50 compared to $78.
And it got you directly to where you needed to be.
And she was like, never again. She would never be on a train.
This is what I'm saying.
Or a bus.
This is why you say these can't be my kids, because
or walking.
Just the simple things in life. I had to catch the bus. I had to walk. I had to beg, borrow, and steal to get from point A to point B. They don't know anything about it because they always assume that mommy gonna make sure she get there, daddy gonna make sure she get there, whoever, somebody. Or their followers, because
and they got followers. And their life is bad, but they depressed, but they got followers.
You'd be like, I don't know what world you coming from.
And not to say, because I understand, there'll be some things on social media where people comment and it's a type of bullying thing and thing of that nature. But we had that too. But I'm just like, you
can block people. The bullying we had, you can't block nobody. I can't be like, Karen, I can't see you no more. Don't talk to me,
Well, back
Karen.
then,
Karen, I can't hear you. You know.
but back then they knew where we lived at. They show up at our house.
I know, that's what I'm saying. They be egg in your house, tissue paper in your house, all kinds of stuff. Now it's like you just block somebody, you act like they never even existed. And here we are, oh, I'm getting cyberbullied. Get off the computer. Turn off that person.
Oh yeah. Well, they can't turn off the computer or the phone or the laptop or the
Oh,
iPad.
they have withdrawal. They really depressed then if you take away those electronics.
No, I remember your daughter caught
Oh, my daughter caught hives. My daughter broke out in a rash because we took her phone from her. She got in trouble at school. It was her punishment to have no electronics. Hard punishment because not only do they have iPads in school today, because that's how they learn now. They don't have real books. They carry a iPad, just one. And so we put her on punishment, and she literally, really broke out in hives all over because she didn't have her phone with her. Like, what in the world?
And you had to take her to the doctor and pay for that.
Correct. Yes, it cost me money. And the trauma, and the boo-hooing, and the drama. And when I got put on punishment, I got put on punishment. I had to go in my room and learn how to read a book.
A book.
A book.
And not one.
No. And sometimes I have to write the book report.
I had to read the dictionary.
To learn the words.
I had to read the dictionary. And then you had to know how to spell the words. These kids don't even have that opportunity.
Spell check.
So I'm sitting there talking to them, and they were really talking about being depressed, being prescribed antidepressants, and again, don't get me wrong, I applaud them for being able to identify and know that there's something going on and something wrong with them, right? For us, we would have been like, oh, we fine, and kept it moving. So for them, I applaud them for recognizing
it
that
is
there's
okay
a problem.
to not be okay. Let's go ahead and put that out.
Yeah, so I'm glad that they were able to recognize it. But then when I'm sitting there and I'm talking to them and I'm like, what?
I know.
You, what?
The number of times I have to look at my kids sideways like, okay. You depressed because you just, you can't do what you want to do in the moment. That's really what it boils down to.
Or you can't do it with my money.
That's the biggest thing.
You can't do it with my money.
I ain't got it. Not today. Not for you. Let's go there. So, I don't know. But,
it's so crazy because I remember right back in the day when they started when cards, debit cards and stuff started to become popular and we didn't have to carry cash. And I used to always say, I don't carry cash because I got kids. Because they used to always steal the cash.
Always take the cash, take the money.
Or the change.
The change. They always kept your change afterwards.
And now, I got to make sure my cards are in my wallet.
You can't even do that. Because, you put your cards in your wallet and you try to keep your kids away from your cards. I get all these Uber Eats, DoorDash charges, Instacart. And I'm like, I go to the grocery store, like, in person. Like physically, to pick up my ground beef or whatever it is that I'm shopping for. So why do I have DoorDash, Instacart, and Uber Eats? And I'm like, how did this happen? Because then I go to my wallet, right? Because what do you think? Somebody maybe stole it, you lost it, something. I go to my wallet and it's there. I'm looking at my card. I'm like, I have it in my possession. But what happened? Oh, they done saved it to their Cash App. They done saved it to their Instacart, their Uber Eats. And so now all it is a push of a button. So I can't even use my own cards because you know what I do then now. I have to lock the card or turn it off or get a new one. It's more of an inconvenience for me. And I'm like, they don't even ask. I know those can't be my kids because my kids would know better. They would know. Let me just ask mommy for the $20 or whatever. Because I did.
But then it's a catch-22, right? Because,
they know I'm going to say no.
No, they know you're going to say yes.
Most of the time.
That's the problem. They know
most of the time.
They know you're going to say yes. But, yeah. But I think they just want to not, it's that slight chance that you might say no.
That I might say no.
And they would rather
They know I'm not going to let them go hungry.
Maybe we should. But then you think about that, right? We wouldn't let them go hungry.
Correct.
What's really going hungry? You got food in the house. Just because you can't get no lemon pepper wings, just because you can't get no
Simply Burger.
yeah,
That's what it is.
or Zaxby's,
Yeah.
I'm letting you go hungry. There is food in the refrigerator.
But it's not prepared. It's not already, hand delivered to me. So, for them, it's obviously a hardship because they actually have to go in the kitchen and use a pot and a pan.
That's a really good word, hardship.
It's a hardship.
It's a hardship.
And they come to the bank of us to go hardship withdrawals.
That's a good one. That is it.
They're like, I am not your 401k.
That is it. They come in for a hardship withdrawal.
Like,
that's a good one.
No, thank you.
That is
Keep that one to yourself. So I don't know, but ultimately, as you can tell, some of the stories are funny. Some of the stories may be sad, but ultimately, it's a place to share, to vent, to just talk, and that's what we want. We want to give this platform to everybody so that we can all have this opportunity. So
to share our stories and to let you know that you're not alone. Because I'm telling you, I know. Listen, before we had even decided to make this a podcast, we used to joke this all the time, and we used to be like, "This can't be these can't be my kids."
I said that at least 5 times out of a 7-day week.
And then we got to the point where we started talking to one another, and we would be like, "Listen, on episode 9,483 of These Cannot Be My Kids, let me tell you what just occurred."
I mean, there are 9 kids, so 1,000 stories per kid. We'll get there.
But it's just like, are we serious right now?
Yeah.
Are we serious?
It's crazy.
But yes, we definitely want to. Again, this was just an introduction tonight to get y'all prepared for what it will look like on Tuesday night. We will be showing up on Tuesday nights at. Did we figure out a time?
What time y'all want us?
Yeah, what
7
time?
o'clock, 8 o'clock.
You remember that thing used to come on back in the day at 10 o'clock? Do you know where your kids
Do you
are?
know where your kids are? 10 o'clock. There you go. Do you know where your kids are? Maybe they ain't with you because if you're lucky enough, they someplace else. So 10 o'clock's a good time.
No.
There you go. No.
So goofy. Anyway.
And like she said, make sure you comment. Make sure you share. We do have our email if you want to share a story that's too long to put in the comments. Stories at thesecan'tbemykids.com. We look forward to hearing from other people because it's just a joy to make sure to hear and share these type of things because we don't want to be alone.
No.
Yeah.
And we know it's a community of us out there.
And we will make that community. Yes.
Yes.
That's
and just
right.
come, grab your wine, your tea, your coffee, whatever it is that helps you get through the fact that you're a parent of These Can't Be My Kids. Come join us. Come talk to us. Hear our stories. Submit your own stories. Let's laugh. Let's just make this a big community so that we can be a big family and share with one another. And again, comment. That's the most important thing, comment, because we really want to talk. So comment. And as we begin to grow, it will have opportunities where we'll be live and we get to bring people up and have conversations with you. And things can go a lot further. But for now, we just wanted to introduce ourselves, let you know what to expect on These Can't Be My Kids, and get prepared. Get your stories together. Submit them to us at storiesthesecan'tbemykids.com. Again, like, comment, and share every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And also, be prepared for it's the audacity for me. I think that's the funniest part of the show is it's the audacity for me.
Yeah, so even if you don't have a full story, but you have something that you want to be like, it is the audacity for me. And it could be your kid, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your sister, your cousin. It's the audacity.
It's the audacity for me. You know, real quick on that one. I was talking to my youngest son the other day, and he was talking about moving. And he reminded me when he first wanted to move out. and I'm helping him get together so he can get ready to move out. And when they told him about the rent, this this boy turned to me and said, "I gotta pay this every month."
Yeah, because we only pay rent once a year around here.
No,
It's not deposits.
No, he thought we only paid it once, and that was it.
Just ever?
Ever.
Oh, see.
Ever. He thought that was it. You just pay rent, and that was it.
That's a true putting your hands in your head. You just be like, this poor little Tink Tink right here.
There you go.
You
Poor
be
little
like,
Tink.
he's so sweet. That baby. And how old is this one?
How old is he? 25.
25.
25.
25.
25. You know how I remember he wanted to be 25? Because for the longest, he kept telling me when he turned 25, he wanted to have a baby. I don't know what's going on with that.
All right. Is he having a baby?
It's the audacity
that's a whole
for
different
me.
story. All right. Well, thank y'all. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of a taste of what to come, and we hope to hear from you and look forward to making this community as large as possible. So we will see you next week at 8 p.m.
And remember, these can't be your kids.
Oh,
It's like
yes.
they are.